Should you change your forehand grip? Is the way that you hold the racket the thing that's preventing you from turning your forehand into the weapon that you really want it to be? That's the question that I'm going to answer in this video. Now, I think there's a lot of fantastic videos that explain the nuances of the different grips, but what I'm going to be talking about here is maybe a little bit different to what you've seen in some of the other videos, so I hope you find it helpful. And if you do, it'd be great if you could give me a thumbs up, and also if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Like I said in the intro, there's loads of great videos that break down the nuances of the grips. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place a link to one of my favorite ones down below, which is from Top Tennis Training. I think Simon does an awesome job in that video of explaining the benefits, the pros and the cons of the different grips. And what he also does is he does a fantastic demonstration with each of the grips. And that's important, and I'll come back to that in a moment, because what I want to focus on here is answering the question, should you change your grip? Because if you're clicking on videos about different grips, you're probably not happy with your forehand, you're trying to improve it, it's not improving, and you want to know how to fix it, and you think the grip might be the answer. So that's what I'm going to help you with. So we've got four main grips. We've got the continental grip with the hands kind of on top of the racket. Very good for hitting the ball flat. You can slice it, you can chop it, you can do a lot of different things like serving and volleying. So it's actually a really versatile grip, and if that was the grip, you could play an insanely high level tennis just using a continental grip. Not necessarily what I'd recommend, but it could be done. The next grip that we've got is going to be the Eastern grip. So the Eastern grip, we're thinking about having the index finger and the base of the palm of the hand on bevel 3. So we've got bevel 1 being the top one, bevel 2 being the next one, bevel 3 being the next one round. This is the grip that Federer uses. So as a grip, it's really easy to hit through the ball and you can create spin, but it's a little bit harder to create spin when the ball's up high. But like I said, this is the grip that Federer uses, and Federer's forehand is amazing. Insane power, can hit it flat, can hit with spin. The next grip that we've got is going to be the semi-western. The palm comes further around, the racket face closes, which means it's a little bit easier to get spin. You can still hit through the ball really well. This is the grip that Nadal uses, and obviously he can absolutely slap the ball, and the amount of spin the guy gets is ridiculous. This is the grip that most of the players on the WTA use, and probably most of the players on the ATP Tour use. Very versatile grip. And then we've got the Western grip. So the Western grip, more extreme, the hand is on the bottom. Easy to get spin, a little bit harder on low balls. Actually, it can be very hard on low balls, really easy to get spin on higher balls. There are some great players out there that use the Western grip, and Djokovic is almost at a Western grip, but it isn't necessarily the grip I would recommend. So if you've got the continental grip or the Western grip, I would move away from them. If you're trying to modernize your game and turning it into a weapon, I would move away from one of those. The continental grip, although you can do lots of stuff with it, it's a little bit harder to create the spin. It's going to hold you back. The Western grip is going to be hard on those lower balls. You know, if you're like me, you're a little bit older, you're getting older, so maybe the ball's not kicking up around your head height, you're not playing against Djokovic and Nadal and the balls up there. You're going to be potentially dealing with some lower balls as well. It's going to be really hard to get down and make that Western grip work. But if you've got either the Eastern grip or the semi-Western grip, you can sleep easy at night. That is not going to be the thing that is preventing you from improving your forehand. So in fact, I would not recommend changing your forehand if that's what's going on. What you need to do is you need to try and work out what is going on with your forehand though. And this is why I like Simon's video doing the demonstrations with each of the grips. And actually there's some of the other channels that have done it as well. Simon is a fantastic tennis player. He has got awesome vision, awesome movement, awesome hand-to-eye coordination, and a great connection with the racket. And that's what this is really going to come down to. Your connection with the racket, understanding the feel of the racket in the palm of your hand, what the different grip does to the face of the racket, and kind of getting used to that. Simon can use any grip. I can play with any grip. I don't know whether I could beat Simon. He looks like a pretty good player. You get any of the best players in the world, they could use any grip and hit amazing forehands because they've got all the requirements in order to be able to use all these grips. They can feel the racket, they understand what the face of the strings do, and they can just feel that connection. So that's going to be one part of it, is kind of just getting used to the feel of the racket in your hand, manipulating the racket head. You can try these different grips and just play around with them, but not necessarily for the sake of changing them, just to help you develop your connection with the racket. Because what forehands normally come down to, what holds most players back, is the fundamental stuff. It's getting prepared and set up in position early enough. It's your spacing. It's your ability to time the ball and meet your ball out in front. If you're struggling to improve your forehand and you've got an Eastern or a semi-Western grip, those are the things that are going to be the real problem, not the grip that you're using. So Federer's like an interesting example of this. He does so many things amazingly well. I used to struggle with my forehand massively, and I was constantly tweaking and changing different stuff, and it was never working, and I was trying to hit it like Federer, but Federer, his spacing is so good. Like, you can't hit a straight arm forehand if you get too close to it. It doesn't work. So I was always too close to the ball, so one of the many reasons I couldn't hit it like Federer. So for me to develop my forehand into the weapon it is now, I had to sort my spacing issues out so then I could have a better quality contact. The other thing that I had to do was really improve my timing. When you hit the ball late, it doesn't work. It just stops everything from working. You can't use modern ground strokes, and you can't efficiently use the body to generate the speed, the power and the spin and still maintain the control if you hit the ball late. So the chances are, if you're watching this searching for is the grip the problem, it's highly likely that your timing is part of the issue. So I've got a video that breaks this down in a lot of detail. I'll place a link to that in the description as well. But something I want to mention briefly here, because I talk about it in all my videos, is the visual side of things. So much of your ability to hit a good forehand comes down to this foundational stuff. The chances are your visual system is holding you back and preventing you from doing it. It's one of the things that held me back. The reason I couldn't time the ball well, I had issues with tracking the ball and judging distance. If you've got that sort of stuff going on, it's impossible to have good timing on a consistent basis. It prevents you from developing your forehand, so it's probably something you might need to work on. So I've created a free Tennis Vision starter program to help you with it. There's a link down in the description. I'll place a link up there so you can get hold of it. Spend a few minutes a day working on that. Really try and get your fundamentals solid. You've got to get that early preparation. You've got to get set up in position. You've got to have good spacing. You've got to get the timing so you can get a nice contact point out in front. You get all those things working, then you're going to have the forehand that you want. You're going to be able to turn it into a weapon. Don't worry about it. If you've got an Eastern or a semi-Western grip, it's not the problem. Sleep easy at nights. Focus on those fundamentals. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have, it'd be awesome if you give me a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. I love to hear from you.